and oh my God, it was like screams and all these like everyone was recording, which now that I look back I'm like, oh my God, they all must have known something was happening because they all were recording, which is kind of cool now because I've got so much footage of the whole thing going down. And yeah, it was just so surreal, and like it genuinely was so shocking. Like I could not believe this was happening. And yeah, she proposed, and of course I said yes. So yeah, we had like the best night ever, and then the next day Ali had organised like an engagement lunch with the kids and like more close friends and family, and it was just, yeah, it was so thoughtful and just absolutely amazing. The kids were so excited. They knew about the whole proposal and everything. It was just, yeah, it was just absolute craziness, but yeah, amazing. And yeah, I cannot believe how much someone's life can change in the space of a few years. I really don't know how I got so lucky. Like I genuinely consider myself so lucky to have found someone like her, and that I get to experience a love like this. I know it's corny, but oh my God, yeah, she's just the most amazing person I've ever met.
Kate doesn't regret a single thing that's happened in her life. One thing she's most proud of, that she was brave enough to listen to her gut and do something when she realised she wasn't happy.
But it's never too late to make a change. You absolutely do not have to settle just because you feel like that's what's expected of you. I feel like you have to start putting yourself first and like having a bit of self-worth and just saying like, I do want more and I deserve more. And until you actually believe that you deserve more, I don't think you'll ever leave a situation. Like you've got to want it and realize that everyone deserves happiness, everyone deserves love. Like, and until you believe that yourself, nothing will ever change. So it's never too late, absolutely never too late, trust me.
Everyone Has an Ex is written and narrated by me, Georgia Love, produced by Linda Scott and edited by Matt Sofo. Thank you for listening. We would love to hear from you. If you like what you've just heard, please hit subscribe, write a review and leave us 5 stars. If you think you've got a better story, send it to us at everyonehasanex@mintymedia.com.au. That's MINTY media.com.au, and follow us on Instagram at everyonehasanex. The presenting partner of this episode of Everyone Has an Ex was the Stan Original Series Love Triangle. If you've got a work problem that's keeping you up at night, we're here to help. I'm Michelle Battersby.
And I'm Soph Hurst. Join us and Em Burnham every week as we answer your biggest career questions in Mamma Mia's brand new podcast, Biz. No sugarcoating, no corporate jargon, just straight answers. It's career coaching minus the invoice.
Biz, a new podcast by Mamma Mia. Work, life, sorted. Out now wherever you get your podcast. episode of Everyone Has an Ex is the Stan original series Love Triangle.
Falling in love. There is no greater feeling. What starts slowly suddenly happens all at once, and then bang, you have it. Real love. Ridiculous, all-consuming, inconvenient, can't live without each other love. Just ask Jamie. She knows all about it.
You know, butterflies and things that I hadn't felt for somebody for a really long time. He had made me feel like a bit of a, you know what they say, a bit of a schoolgirl. You know, I felt very jittery and excited when I was around him. I just thought he was I thought he was perfect, and I felt love, you know, at that point. The way that he had made me feel, it was different.
So we might joke about love being inconvenient, but what about when it actually is? What about when it's so inconvenient you're forced to quit your job, move countries, and stand up for the person you're with to the people you love?
It was no longer exciting, it wasn't fun, it was really confronting, and I had to defend him, and I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why I had to defend this person who was such a...
This is a CBC podcast.
They came, surrounded, and they just jumped out and they arrested me too, slammed my head off the side of the car. And I was like, dadgum, man. Don't y'all know I'm undercover?
I'll call him Scott, because that's what he said his name was, but I'm sure that's not his name.
It was his name. That part is true.
I asked him, I said, Scott, you FBI? He said, no. He denied it.
Yeah, he was FBI. FBI Special Agent Scott Payne.
QC 3415, it is 4/21/2017. It's approximately 4:30 p.m. Central Time. I will be heading to the United Clans of America rally.
What's it like to work undercover for years, to infiltrate the KKK or deal with wannabe mass murderers?
He's like, man, I've got heart. I've got the heart. And he wanted to do something in the style of Dylan Roof, but on a grander scale.
Or to spend your days and nights with violent bikers.
I can't just walk over there into a sea of testosterone and leather and say, hey, you guys ride?
And eventually, some of them become your friends.
I was worried about him. I was worried about his emotional state. He's married, his kids, he's with gang members. And after a while, you see his personality, it changes.
What does it do to you as a person to always be scanning for threats?
Everything you see is like clicks, like click time dilation. You can feel your heart beating. You get a little sweaty. Your hamstrings get weak. Trying to figure out, hey, is this it? Am I going to die right now?
What's it like to have to keep parts of your life a secret?
Here's what I tell people when they ask me, like, how did you cope living with an undercover? And I said, well, I did get some training through the movie of Donnie Brasco. That was my training.
I'm Shel Shepherd. On Agent Pale Horse, we're going to bring you a perspective you rarely hear. An unflinching view from the inside of some of today's most dangerous movements.
Am I going to say that this is the worst threat in the world and the Nazis are going to be on your doorstep tomorrow? No. But are these people capable of being violent? And is it a movement that has been growing? Yes. Yes, it has.
Agent Pale Horse, the second season of White Hot Hate. Available now, everywhere you get your podcasts.
For more CBC podcasts, go to cbc.ca/podcasts.
waiting for a new novel from Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie for 12 years. On my podcast Bookends, Chimamanda tells me what was happening behind the scenes, about the sudden loss of both of her parents and how her mother's spirit brought her back to fiction.
Sometimes I do not even want to talk about my mother because I get ridiculously emotional. But she kind of helped me start writing because she realized that I might go mad if I wasn't...
If the thoughts all had to stay inside.
Yes. Yeah.
Search for Bookends with Matea Roach to hear the rest of that conversation.
This is a CBC podcast.
The following episode contains strong language and descriptions of violence. Please take care when listening.
Okay. So let me start with the bass.
All right.
What a great group of guys.
Okay, so...
Let me introduce you to Scott. He's 6'4", 260, likes cowboy boots and Jack Daniels. And in the summer of 2019, he wanted to join a group of white supremacists. They called themselves The Base, and Scott had already passed a crucial phone interview.
That Saturday, they reached out to me and said, hey, we'd like to have you in the base. And I said, awesome, I'd love to be here. So he says, you're going to be contacted by your closest cell leader. And it turned out that the closest cell leader was a guy going by the name of the Militant Buddhist, TMB, and he was in Rome, Georgia. Now we're not emailing, now we're not texting, now it's not a voice phone call, now I'm actually going to meet somebody. So I drive, it might be a 4-hour drive down to Rome, Georgia, and it's kind of a rural area. It's a small town. I was instructed to pull into town. He even told me what parking lot to park in. In downtown Rome, there is a statue of a Roman wolf, oddly enough. And he said, when you get there, take a picture of that Roman wolf and send it to me. So I'm driving, I'm looping on these streets, and I see the Roman wolf statue. I take a picture of it, and I send it to TMB, and I end up parking on a pretty steep hill.
It is hot out. Suffocating hot August Georgian heat with a darkening sky that looks pretty ominous. Scott stands by his truck under a tangle of power lines, and he spots two figures coming up the hill.
And I see a guy who's probably about 6'2", about 21 years old, probably about 220 pounds. I mean, he's not a small guy, a little frumpy maybe, not like super muscular, pretty thick glasses on, moppish hair pushed over to the side. I don't remember him being dressed like anything crazy, but the guy walking with him, who I learn is Pestilence, he's wearing a tank top of some black metal band. He has on black BDU pants that are bloused into his 8-inch combat boots, tactical boots. And his head is shaved on the sides, but his hair is long. Like it's, a ponytail probably down the middle of his back, right? So, no harm, no foul. I get out, hey, So I don't even know if we shook hands. And TMB says, I need you to put your phone in airplane mode. And I'm like, okay. And I'm expecting that, right? He pulls out this thing that I've never seen